friends, this is the Mrs. Volpe from our half-acre homestead. Today we're going to make granola. Now normally I make granola in the oven, but I got 2 new trays for my dehydrator, so I'm going to make granola on my dehydrator. Now I happen to have, if you remember this summer, me dehydrating some strawberries and some blueberries. So if you're going to add dehydrated fruit to your granola, you do not add the dehydrated fruit while you're dehydrating it. So if you're going to use fresh fruit, chop it fine, toss it in with your stuff, but if you're going to use dry, add it in after the fact. I don't have any nuts because Christmas is over and they're all gone, but what I do have is some raw sunflower seeds, some flax seed, and some pumpkin seed. But you can add nuts if you like. And I have 5 pounds of old-fashioned rolled oats. And of course, honey with a bit of cinnamon and a little bit of sea salt, because anything sweet needs a bit of salt. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our big bowl and a piece of wax paper, a little bit of butter, and you can use oil or lard or whatever you want, and I'm just going to grease this bowl, because when you put honey and stainless steel together, it gets real sticky and you're not going to get all your stuff out of there. And this is so easy. Oh, and by the way, I made these parchment sheets for my dehydrator trays, because I don't have the fine screen for my dehydrator trays. So I just use parchment paper, and believe it or not, you can rinse these out like a dish rag and wring them out gently and hang them up and dry them and reuse them. I'm not kidding. Parchment paper is one of those things that people think they have to throw it out, and you don't. All right, here's our buttered bowl, and we are going to start off with our 5 pounds of old-fashioned rolled oats. I don't recommend instant, folks. You know how I feel about instant. There's 5 pounds. In the end, I'm going to add a cup each of the dried blueberries and a cup of the dried strawberries. But like I said, they're already dehydrated. They don't need to go through this process. So here's about a half a cup of raw sunflower seeds. Now you can add just about anything you want. You know, you can add nuts, seeds, papaya. I've got about half a cup here of, I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of flaxseed. I like to save some for when I'm making my bread. I have a tin in my cupboard that has this mixture in it. It has oatmeal, raw sunflower seeds, flax seed, sometimes sesame seed. Here's some pumpkin seed. All right, we got all that in there. So let's add about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and about a teaspoon of salt. Now normally you would mix this up first. I'm just going to mix up the top layer, because to get that cinnamon down in, but we don't want it sticking to the butter too much. All right, then we're going to take 2 cups of unpasteurized honey. I've almost forgotten. I do all my baking with it, but I've almost forgotten that we had honey. And we're going to start stirring this up. Now you don't need it really heavily coated, folks. See how the butter stops that honey stuff from sticking too much? But if this is the recipe that works best for me. Oh, this honey smells so good. There's just something about home-raised honey. Now I'm going to have to go get a spatula. And look, while I was hunting for my spatula, I forgot that I have coconut flour in my cupboard. So let's just give some of that in there. Give some added nutrients, some added fiber. Like I said, you can pretty much make this your own. Now we're just going to get the rest of this honey out here. You don't want to waste any precious drop of this liquid gold. 40,000 bees worked very hard to make that honey. All right, we're just going to mix this all together until everything is pretty much evenly coated. And when that's done, we're just going to put it on our dehydrator trays. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a big sticky mess. All right, we'll be back when I have this all mixed up and ready for the trays. All right, as you can see, this has kind of got a consistency that it still falls apart, but it's kind of oozy. I don't know how to describe it. Alrighty. Now, I have 6 dehydrator trays, and I put my parchment sheets on them. And I'm just going to start loading these up. Now, you want a nice even coating on your dehydrator tray. You don't want it too thick, just like anything else you're going to dehydrate. One of the reasons I do this is because we, of course, we try and eat as natural as possible. Now, come on, folks. I ate a pint of Haagen-Dazs, or almost a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream yesterday. And I made the excuse that, well, it was made with real ingredients, cream and egg yolks and sugar and strawberries and stuff. But thing is we really do try. But we don't buy store-bought cereals, okay? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. We don't buy store-bought cereals because I've said it before and I'll say it again. You get more nutrients out of eating the box. There we go. I get up every morning, as you all know, and I make my husband his breakfast and his lunch every morning. But I can't feed him eggs and grilled cheeses every day. This is a guy who it took me years to get him used to eating things like bran for breakfast. So he needs his cereal now and again. Like I try really hard to balance out his breakfasts, okay? If I give him eggs one day, I'll give him maybe toasted tomato sandwiches the next day. If I give him, eggs another day, maybe I'll give him pancakes another day. Or I'll make him a grilled cheese. But, it's really important that he has his cereal 3 times a week for health reasons. But I don't want to give him store-bought cereal. The stuff is, not as healthy as they say it is. It's basically wood chips with vitamins added or something. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, folks. Don't anybody from cereal companies come after me. Anyway, when you make your own granola, you know what's in it. It's oats. In this case, it's oats and pumpkin seed and sunflower seed and flax seed. And there's going to be dehydrated strawberries and blueberries, honey and cinnamon. It's all good, folks. Anyway, I'll be back when I have this all loaded up. There it is, folks. 6 trays of our granola mix. And we are going to set this. We're going to set this at 125 degrees. And we'll be back in a couple hours when this is all done. Alrighty, folks, we're going to turn off our dehydrator and we're going to grab our dried fruit. Now this is still quite warm, so as it cools down it will get more crunchy, but I'm going to pour this in the bowl so I can add my fruit. There we go. There's still some clumpies in there. But we don't want it too dry either. And it is going to get a little crunchier as it dries. Or as it cools down, I mean. I'm going to get a bigger bowl. Alrighty, we got a bigger bowl. Now this was made with honey. So it is going to be a little stickier. It may take longer to dry, but you can use maple syrup. I would use pure maple syrup, or molasses, or agave nectar. And remember, not all agave nectars. It has to be real agave nectar, pure agave nectar. Now this, my friends, is a lot of granola. Look at the size of this. This is a huge bowl. And we're just going to bust it up a little bit with our hands. And now, we're going to throw in. Oh, I wish you could smell these strawberries. They smell like they just came off the fruit stand. Throw some strawberries in there. Throw some dried blueberries in there. You can add raisins or whatever, but my husband does not like raisins. So we have, and what do you think? You think that needs more fruit? I don't know. Daddy, come and taste this, please. Oh, I'm going to take a handful. This works really well as trail mix, too. See, it's not sticky anymore. How is it? There you go. I am going to let this cool before I put it in a couple of 1-gallon glass jars. This is the Mrs. Volpe saying, you can make your own homemade cereal and it doesn't have to have additives or anything else. Good and good for you. Take care.
You know I'm way down here. Babe, I'm way down here in a rollin' fog, baby, please don't